You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
Igo by Toyota sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
Marlene.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.
This is Your Welcome America, the podcast that explains what the bloody hell Brits are banging on about.
In every episode, we translate British pop culture for America.
And American pop culture for Britain.
You're
welcome. I'm Ben.
I am Fraser.
Fraser like razor, he'll cut a bitch. Hiya.
Hi, happy Pride.
Happy Pride. How is Pride still happening? We're almost in August, and I am no longer proud. I will say that.
I will tell you I think I've attended my final Pride of the year this
Final
weekend.
Pride of all time.
Of all time, maybe ever.
Quick location check. I am coming to you from West Hollywood.
Everybody get up and...
Why are you gay?
And you're
Yikes.
coming to us from...
Thorpe St Andrew, a neighbourhood of Norwich.
Morning, all right.
Does your mum live
my
in a
mum's house.
Does she live in a cul-de-sac?
It's a close, yeah.
Close!
Orchard Close.
Orchard Close.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so why are you proud? Where have you been?
So this weekend was Norwich Pride.
I run into Debbie Mazar.
Why are you gay?
And I had a friend, my friend Paddy came to visit for it. And
Never
a few
met
of my,
him, never been introduced.
No, you never will. And I was just like randomly, a few of my other friends were just back in Norfolk, so we ended up having quite the motley crew, including my mother.
Ex-bloody-pedia.
Well, as I texted you, I really had this vision of your mum attending Pride wearing like a feather boa. Oh, very sort of that character, that woman in Queer as Folk, you know?
Yes. Well, Charlie CLC was back, and we were texting, both saying that both our mums had said to us, oh, well, like, I'm going to Pride, but I'm going with so-and-so, like, as in, like, I won't be with you. And I said to, weirdly, you say that, I said to Charlie, I'm really worried that my mum's going to be wearing a feather boa. And Charlie said, my mum literally just texted me asking if I want a feather boa to wear. No, I will confirm that neither of them were wearing a feather boa when we were all together, but...
Well, also, if it's hot, a feather boa, was it hot? Because a feather boa would be a little...
Yeah, it was very nice weather. And this was the thing, I was very... as I am with Norfolk a lot, I love it, but I'm also, quite, like, snobby because I've lived in London and LA, where I'm like, oh... Little kind of country town Norwich. Like, what are they going to do for Pride? So I was just being very like lackluster and casual about it. And even on the day we were like, we're going to go to the parade, I was like, oh, we'll just go and like, we'll just be able to find them in like 2 seconds. Turns out Norwich Pride is like kind of a huge giant event, and it was kind of, quite like
Just people partying.
The streets were like packed with people. And then I thought it ended at like a park, basically, where the parade ended, and we went into like a park to watch stuff. I truly thought it would be like me, my friend Paddy, a couple of other people, and then like one drag queen singing "I Will Survive" on like a milk crate in the corner. It was like a festival. It was like huge. There was like multiple stages. There was. I will say that. One thing I've noticed, especially because we went out last night as well, is I forgot about how every drag queen sings live here in the UK. So I did hear a lot of live singing that I didn't enjoy.
Wait, speaking of drag queens, I got a text from you, very late from you, your time, GMT, saying, I'm going to read the text right now to the group. Okay, so this came through at 1 a.m. your time. Mm-hmm. Nicole Wet, live in Norwich.
Let's get a little wet.
Why are you gay?
Explain, please.
So no one was performing it live. I was very drunk when I sent you that, and I think I was just trying to tell you it was happening live as we spoke. They played it in a club.
Oh, I got it.
But because I was drunk, I sent the message in a weird way. No one was performing it, but actually, was it a drag queen performing it? No, they just played it. It was like a DJ that played it. We went to this. So we did the parade. We did the parade, and then we went to the park. Then we went out for dinner with a couple of other friends because it was someone's birthday. That was not really Pride focused. Then we went to this pub called the Catherine Wheel, which is a gay pub that I've never been to in Norwich.
Catherine Wheel.
That was really fun. It was like it was a lot of drag queens just performing and doing light comedy skits here and there. That was really fun. Then me and Paddy left everyone and went to the official Pride party happening at this place called the Waterfront, which is like a venue that I feel like people used to go and see like Blink 182 there. Like when they would come to the UK, they would like, you know what I mean? It was like meant to be like a rock venue. Rock and roll! I think it's also like the student place, I think, for the university. But anyway, we went there and it was just this huge... the problem with Norwich is that even though the Pride event was massive and really busy, it's still never quite enough people to fill like a club on like a niche. You know what I mean? Like they fill pubs really well in Norwich, but like a club night in this vast venue, there was definitely a lot of like space around the edges. You remember when we went to that... do you remember when we like went to that first underwear party after like lockdown ended? Do you remember it was that very like sparsely attended underwear party we went to where it was very chilly and cold at the edges?
Well, it was sparsely attended, yeah, and the AC was blasting and everyone's in their underwear, so it was people just kind of in clumps of people. Yeah, that was pretty baffling.
It had that exact same thing where it was like what you'd feel like in the middle of a big crowd, and then as soon as you like moved through one group of people, you were like, oh, there's a huge empty corner of this club. So it was really fun. Then we went back to the Loft, the gay club afterwards.
Going back to the Loft.
We did two clubs in one night. Yeah, we did. We packed a lot in.
You're a right wee clubber. The Clubber's Guide to Pride. Well, speaking of being active homosexuals, I'm currently in the gayborhood. That's right.
Ooh.
I used the awful phrase.
Horrible turn of
staying
phrase.
at our friend's apartment in West Hollywood,
Everyone here is
Gay.
and it is quite baffling being here. The density of gay men, it's a lot.
What's the kind of highlight and the low light?
I would okay, both. They're both the same thing. My highlight and low light is I've been going to, like it's the year 2016, I've been going to Barry's boot camp.
Gay.
Oh my god!
It's nearby. I can walk to it. It's Barry's HQ. I was like, we're doing it. I show up today. They're playing a remix of Boom Boom Pow by Black Eyed Peas, just to give you that kind of vibe of what's going on.
That's still living in the year that came out at Barry's boot camp, aren't they?
Totally. And yesterday when I was there, so you go in Barry's boot. I've also realized Barry's boot camp is so American. I've never really noticed it before, but it is so American. Like the shouting, the optimism. You could be in there on all like the dark lights, the Boom Boom Power remix. You're working out. You're like, life is great, and everyone's saying you're amazing, and then you leave, and a nuclear attack could have happened. It's very, very that.
I always feel like at Barry's, you're just flailing weights around in the dark. I feel like it's like a real injury risk workout at Barry's.
Completely, and we've definitely talked before about the fact it's named after someone called Barry. All right, you've been to Barry's boot camp.
Barry's boot camp does sound like someone's kind of bootleg kind of back garden workout club in like Hull.
Someone's garage.
Yeah.
Go to your Uncle Barry. He's doing his workout in the garage. But yesterday, the real highlight was at the end of class. So this is 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning. They announce, because Barry's boot camp, they've got a juice bar, they've got all these different things, whatever. And this is is like Barry's HQ, purpose-built, West Hollywood, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, purpose-built Barry's is one of the most depressing sentences. That's like, oh.
So at the end of class, the instructor says, "Oh, and on your way out, there's free wellness shots at reception." I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe a cayenne, ginger, and lemon shot, that kind of vibe. No. We're talking vitamin B12 injections.
Oh.
Complimentary.
Oh, nice.
Multiple different kind of wellness injections you could get. So people just lined up, sat, and got like jabbed in the arm.
Did you have one of those B12 ones?
I did. I had to get. I was busy. I had to get.
They're really. I had one at the gym in my gym in LA before I left. They did them for free as well, and I felt amazing after I had mine.
Really?
Yeah, it felt really good.
Should have done that.
Yeah, I felt like healthy, which is a weird thing to say. Speaking of which, I'm just going to show you this on camera. See this?
Oh, I'm going to read it to the grip. Fox's chocolatey half-coated cookies, milk chocolate. A lot of chocolate words in there.
So it's a...
Oh, it's like a hobnob, chocolate hobnob with...
chocolate chips.
Meets a chocolate digestive.
Yeah.
It's very thick.
It's thick.
Gay.
Okay, let's talk about the calendar hanging in the wall in your mum's kitchen. I see a tractor. Is this a calendar of tractors?
I think it's different, like, pastoral scenes. Oh, yeah, look, there's, like, a country fair in the next one. Another tractor. A horse, and a Shire horse. I'll tell you that it was Anne's birthday on Saturday.
And just looking at the days, great.
Yeah, and I'm home on the 29th. I wrote that on the calendar because no one cared. And then it's my cousin's birthday on the 3rd of August. So there you go.
Birthdays. I love Anne's birthday and a cousin's birthday.
Yeah, I'm like, who's Anne?
I do have one other story for you that happened recently because it is a real proper heat wave now in LA. And I went to the beach last Saturday. We went with our friend Ronan. And not
Which
to,
beach?
To, speaking of the gayborhood, we went to Ginger Rogers, the gay beach.
Yep.
And he got stung by a stingray
Oh, shit.
at the beach.
What? Like, what, on, like, the leg?
No, on his foot. So we're like walking into the water.
Oh,
and
and
at
it
one
was-
point he just goes, ow! And it turns out he got stung by a stingray. So he had to hobble along to the lifeguard and they did like a little, like looked at it and gave him like a special ointment.
They
And
have
then he
stingray
was-
treatment there.
Yeah. How fun is
What
that?
did it look like? Like, on his foot? Like, what did
A
it...
tiny little prick. Like he just had a vitamin
Oh.
B12 shot.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he said it really hurt.
Yeah, and then every now and again we'd be sitting there talking, and he'd be like, ah! And it would just go kind of in and out of pain. Not to tell Ronan's story for us, but also I do want to give a shout out because Ronan doesn't listen to the podcast, but his husband Oscar does.
Yes.
And whenever Ronan gets a mention, Oscar gets really.
I get
a message.
yes, me too. I get lots of messages from Oscar saying, "Oh wow, another Ronan shout out."
So here's the thing, Oscar. I don't know, maybe go do something exciting in life, like get stung by a stingray, and you'll get featured in the podcast. Okay? Speaking of our friends and their foibles, shall we do some feedback? Okay, so if you want to get in touch, you can go to our Instagram, which is You're Welcome America on Instagram. So we did have a lovely message from Cliff, core listener Cliff in Glasgow, because he'd sent us a voice note from
Yeah, Mighty
from Mighty
Hoopla.
Hoopla. He then sent us a picture of a Nicky Chapman. Yeah, I'm struggling to describe it. So a poster of Nicky Chapman in a window of a store, and she's holding what looks like a leopard print cork wedge.
Yes, signed Nikki. It also looks like the shoe was added in later in post, doesn't
do you
it? It's like
think?
floating on her hand in a way that is quite unusual.
So she must
I
have
wonder
some
what shop
sort of-
this is.
I know. Where's Nikki got her line?
I'm trying to zoom in on those price tags. The font on those price tag looks cheap looking. Like maybe Peacocks? Does Peacocks, does that still exist or is that an administration?
Administration.
I love saying things have gone into administration.
A phrase never used in the US. I love it. Also, he got in touch because he said, first of all, he had no memory of sending the Mighty Hoopla message. We kind of guessed that. And then he also asked, I need Fraser's thoughts on Janet Jackson's Seoul UK tour date this year being in Norfolk.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? She's playing at Sandringham, this big country house.
But then a few weeks later, he replied saying, quick update, the latter's now been cancelled.
Oh, okay. I did think I was wondering what had happened with that because I was getting a lot of scuttlebutt around it, and then nothing actually ended up happening.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Janet loves to do a gig, then cancel it.
Yeah, she deserves to. We also got sent a video of Diana Vickers and another girl singing about buying picky bits, which is a term I really despise, from Marks and Spencers. And funnily enough, the other day I saw Diana Vickers at work in the cafeteria area.
Oh, and you said she looked
Yeah.
beautiful.
I was like, I was struck by this beautiful young lady that I saw, and then I was making my coffee, and I said to someone I work with, "It's Diana Vickers over there." And then because she's Gen Z, she was like, "I don't know who that is." I said, "Okay, fine."
Victoria's been in touch. She sent, with no comments, a British Vogue post because Melanie C got married and 3 of the Spice Girls went. I gotta say, it's not a competition, but has Melanie C won? Because
Maybe.
her husband is gorgeous. Have you seen him?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, have a little flick
Is
through
he in
that.
that? Oh yeah. Oh wow. Damn.
Total hottie.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's gorgeous.
So very happy for Mel C.
Yeah. That cross on her arm in her wedding dress.
What's Emma wearing at the wedding?
Like a pink gingham suit. She looks kind of nuts.
Oh, good for Emma. Like she's a picnic.
Yeah, she is.
She's dressed like a picnic.
Emma's bunting. She still hasn't launched that rage that we wanted her to. This is unrelated, but because I mentioned my Gen Z work colleague, I work with someone so young that we were just casually talking about our age differences in the office, and just for some reason I really focused on the idea of what songs were really popular when you were in primary school, like what you would dance to at the primary school disco.
Yeah.
And actually a lot of the Gen Z people were saying our songs have kind of lived on so like they do the Macarena and they dance to Saturday Night at school discos still. But then we looked up, one of my colleagues, he's so young that I looked up the #1 song of the year that he would have been in primary school, and it was Uptown Funk.
I've obviously been going to, just to really rage bait, podcast nemesis Michael Balinson. I've been going to my queer line dancing nights.
Gay.
And I was there the other night, and someone asked my age, and I said I'm 41, and she looked me dead in the eye and she went, "I'm shook." And I was like, I think I'll take that as a compliment, but I don't know. Also, it could be like, "Oh, you're that old." I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
babe."
Yeah, I didn't think you were that old. Yeah, it's a compliment. Yeah, like, oh, you do look younger than your age, and then you're disgustingly high age.
Yeah, I'm
How-
shook.
How old was she? I mean, that
She's
gives it away.
I think she's either 29 or early 30s. She's super
Right.
cool. She's a really nice. She's a lovely girl.
She better be.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of shook, I was shaken to my core by that thing you sent me on Instagram of Mutia talking about how much she hates the song Red Dress. That Instagram post that was just that guy doing a deep dive, and I really like at the end of his video, he's like, "I kind of like Red Dress, but I guess I get it."
Yeah, his point was, well, and I think Mutia's point was, all our other songs are quite cool and they have
Yeah.
a purpose, and then we're singing this bouncy pop song about a red dress. She's like, "I'm out. I gotta leave Sugar Babes."
Oh well, and then that her leaving really opened the floodgates, and we got my favorite song, "Here Come the Girls."
No, I mean, no, come on. No, our mutual Mutia favorite Sugar Babe song is obviously
About a Girl.
About a Girl.
Well, of course. I referenced that on Crystal's podcast when we did
did
Kill
you?
Bill. I referenced that video being based on Kill Bill.
Right. Should we do a podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gay.
Okay, we're doing a bit of a special. I've essentially been harassing you with text messages because the Katie Price documentary, Nothing to Hide.
I've got nothing to hide.
Got nothing to hide. Ask anyone you want. Got nothing to hide. Before we get into it, just to explain to our US listeners or anyone who's not aware, we're going to be talking about the Katie Price documentary. Katie Price has been a pop culture figure from the 90s. She started off as a glamour model, a topless model.
Yeah.
Called Jordan. That was like her stage name. And then she's been in reality TV, everything ever since. And she's incredibly important and key to British culture, as we'll
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah, she sure is.
Katie Price, 4-part documentary on Sky in the UK.
I only watched 3 parts, by the way. I haven't finished the 4th part.
Oh,
so you have
good.
to tell
I can
me
tell
what
you the
happens.
ending. As soon as I saw it and the cold open, so like the bit that goes right before the start of the show, I was like, this is pretty spectacular. In fact, I even sent the trailer I sent the link to podcast nemesis Michael. He's like, "I'm not going to watch this." And then he clearly watched the cold open. He's like, "The cold open's fantastic."
Yeah, it's so good, isn't it? So it's her eating a bag of crisps, isn't it? And her going, I like cheese and onion. It's my favourite flavour. Completely, right off the bat, I was like, that is a wild statement to make.
And then you see a shot of Kerry Katona, and she's saying it was like Cinderella on coke and speed on a 7-day bender. And you're like, what is she referring to? It was in fact her Katie Price's wedding to
OK Magazine wedding.
to Peter Andre. Okay, so let's get into it. We've got 4 episodes, but we can go through them one by one. Episode 1, Becoming Jordan. I've just written my first note. Is her brother hot?
Yeah, he is. I think her brother's hot. My big takeaway from this, because she has done so many TV shows and documentaries, and I'm finally telling my truth, and written so many books that you kind of feel like you've heard everything from her. But my takeaway from this was her brother's hot and her stepdad seems really nice.
Totally. And also her sister's holding a chunky Emma Bridgewater mug.
Yes, and her sister is a wonderfully normal person, you know?
Wonderfully normal, with her
I think
giant glasses.
Yeah. So I thought this was fascinating, mainly because part one reintroduced me to an icon and a legend that I'd forgotten had ever existed, the photographer.
Oh, okay, we're going to get to her. You mean Jeannie fucking Savage?
Jeannie fucking Savage.
Okay,
She was the breakout star of episode one for me.
She was. Well, first of all, before we even get into it, the episode starts. Now, bearing in mind, we've had a lot of celebrity documentaries recently, and they're very glossy, and people talk about going into their archives. So Katie Price essentially starts by going into her archive, which is her garage. And it's parked in front of her garage is a broken down pink Range Rover. And then the garage door is kind of broken. And then she gets into the garage and it's just a mess of boxes and shit everywhere.
Well, and she has to crawl into the garage. That's the best part of it. It's not like isn't Kylie sitting in like a white room, wasn't she, with like surrounded by these like immaculate boxes that she's opening?
Yeah.
It kind of almost gave me shades of, do you remember the Pamela Anderson documentary? I got very nervous about how all of Pam's home videos were in that like rickety shed in her back garden in Canada. It felt like that again. I was like, oh God, these women need to archive things a bit better. But yeah, no, hers was an absolute, there was a Christmas tree in the background. Did you see that?
Oh my God.
Like, clearly she never uses that Christmas tree. It was just shoved in the garage. And she was just like grabbing at things that like, she goes, VHS tape. She went, oh, Katie and Peter, not the best one to start with.
Yeah. It was pretty much like, it really reminded me of Kimberly in Girls Aloud's Passions.
Yes.
And remember like whore bits for Kim? Do you remember that box that said whore bits for Kim because she was going to be playing a whore in what, Les Miserables or something?
Yes.
It was very, very like that.
Very whore bits for Kim.
Very-
Yeah, and I really love that. She was like, the documentary guy was like, what's wrong with your car? And she's like, oh, I don't drive it anymore. I haven't driven it for months. It's got a flat tire. And like, well, the windscreen was like smashed. I think she just goes out there and like hits her car with a bat just for like fun.
Also,
she's such a weirdo.
The documentary maker, I would describe him as gobby.
Yeah.
His voice was all over it, but actually, he was really good.
Yeah,
The way
yeah.
he like pursued questions, but not in like a gross,
No.
pushy way. More just like, Katie, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean your car's broken?
Yeah.
It was
yeah,
just very like
he left in a lot of real reaction to what she was saying. And I
Yeah.
think that helps with her as well, because like, I don't know, I think she's the best when she's got like kind of sparring with someone. So I think he did a really good job with all the interviews for this as well.
I agree.
Like her mum, I love her mum so much.
Her mum, do you not think her mum looks like a live action version of like an Enid Blyton character?
Yes,
who
she
would
does.
live in a cottage with a thatched roof.
Yes, she does. I also love that. I always forget that Katie Price is from like Brighton and Hove. I always forget that they're from like, you know, all their stories are about going to like Brighton Beach and doing all this stuff. Speaking of which, one of the things I had never seen before, when she started talking about how she worked in that office with that woman.
Okay.
What was she called?
Jackie. You mean,
Jackie.
sorry, I've just written a bullet point here. So she gets into glamour modeling because she worked with a woman called Jackie, and I've written Jackie at work taking pics in the office. So
And
in the
then-
lunch break, they used to go to Brighton Beach and just take
But
some
then
like
they-
topless pics.
Where they showed the pictures, obviously the beach pictures were, I thought they were really cool, the beach pictures, they're really beautiful, but like the office pictures were so funny. They were just, literally, it was her like posing, like she's like sitting in an office chair with like a whiteboard behind her, and she's just like, oh, on my lunch break with Jackie.
So this is when she was getting into glamour modeling, and she was going to be, before she worked out her name Jordan, the other names that she was looking at, Emily, Lisa, and Linda.
Linda is incredible. Imagine if she had gone through this entire thing as Linda.
So good.
I
Busty
really,
Linda.
I really resent.
Luscious Linda.
Don't you feel like for a really long time, and actually even still to this day, I think people who are rude about her, in the UK especially, I think older people call her like Jordan to be like sneering. Like they won't ever call her Katie Price. They refer to her as Jordan. It's very like, comes with a lot of like nastiness and judgment, I think.
Okay, so also at this point, this is when she gets into page 3 modeling. We should explain what fucking page 3 is, right?
I liked how most people who were talking about it were like, including her, were like, it's so weird. Like she was like,
Yeah.
she's like, it's really weird when you think about it. But basically, there was a tradition in the UK from like
tradition.
It was, but it was for like a long time, wasn't it? It was the Sun and was it the Daily Star as well, like 2 tabloid newspapers. There would on page 3 of the newspaper would be a topless model every week,
Page
every
3
day.
model. Sorry,
Is it every day or every
just
week?
Just I think every day. And just to say it correctly, page 3.
Yeah, a lot of free. Yeah, and yeah, and that was kind of in the 90s and early 2000s. That was a real kind of pathway to fame for a lot of models, wasn't it? And then because I think she said off the back of that she kind of blew up at the same time as all of the lads mags that came afterwards.
Loaded, Maxim, FHM.
She really struggled to say Esquire. Did you notice? She was like, Esquire. I don't know why, because it's a French word. She just got a bit tripped up by that. But I really enjoyed them flashing up all the different covers for that, for all those different magazines she was on. I loved her. One of my kind of favorite eras for her is that lads mag era. I think she looks really cool in the pictures for them.
Well, speaking of the pictures, do you want to talk about Jeannie fucking Savage?
Oh my god.
So Jeannie fucking Savage, turns out, was this photographer, a woman. They show a great shot of her wearing very chunky platform sneakers, and she was like the page 3 photographer.
Yeah. I'm glad that it was a woman that was doing the majority of those shoots. That gives me like one small light at the end of the tunnel for how awful that must have all been.
Yeah.
And she is quite the character. They give her quite a grand entrance into the documentary, don't they?
Oh,
And I think,
what was it?
well, just they kind of really like almost did like a mic drop moment where she sat down and then like I think it's Katie that says, yeah, Jeannie fucking Savage, or maybe it was her brother that said that's what her nickname was. And I felt like I could feel a little frisson when her mum was talking about her. She was a bit like, oh god. I also, just as a general note for this whole documentary, I love that every single thing the mum hasn't approved of anything, and she's not afraid to say it in the documentary. Every turn she's like, oh god, oh god,
she
that was
doing
awful.
now?
Oh bloody hell, this is awful.
I think you made a really good point. Is like we feel like we've seen everything and know everything about Katie Price, but it turns out that the main thing we didn't know was that she is unlike anyone in her family.
Yes.
She is. I mean, one of the later episodes is called The Black Sheep, I think. She is this standout alien personality, and everyone in her family is just loves her and trying to support her, but it's also like, oh, Katie, what you doing?
They're all very normal in a really nice way, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're like you feel like you could instantly go to like her mum's house and have a nice cup of tea with them all, and it'd be terrifying when she came in.
So at this point, apparently on page 3, silicone was banned.
Yeah.
Page 3, you weren't allowed to have breast implants, which is kind of remarkable, I thought.
Strange thing to take a stand on, but okay.
Yeah. Can we talk about, okay, this is when we really get into a fantastic thing. We get to Dane Bowers, who she describes as the love of her life.
First of all, the way that it was introduced, the way that they met was at the Wild Wild West premiere.
And her
outfit was incredible. She's wearing that like sideways, it was almost like a sideways Baker Boy cap that she's wearing, and like a kind of an apron top like at the front. She's wearing the most bizarre outfit.
Do you think Will Smith was at that premiere? At
Definitely.
the Odeon in Leicester Square?
100%. So he's definitely, Will Smith can look back and know that he rubbed shoulders with Dane Bowers and Katie Price.
Do you want to explain
Then
Dane Bowers to
Jordan.
the group?
So Dane Bowers was in a boy band called Another Level. They were kind of like, they were positioned as the kind of British like Jodeci, or like, you know what I mean? They were meant to be quite like kind of R&B and soul band. And I was laughing because Dane Bowers was a member of it, and then he went solo and obviously did a song with Victoria Beckham, which we'll get to. But I always forget that how good looking the other members of Another Level were. Like they showed them on stage. Yeah, like yeah. Like they were all gorgeous, and then poor Dane was kind of, as she said, he was the chubby one.
Yeah. But yeah, they have quite the remarkable relationship.
What What a meet cute though. Like to meet at the Wild Wild West premiere is so good. It's so 2001, isn't it?
And Dame was 19, she was 21. I've written here that he looks about 37.
Yes, he does.
And then their love life is splashed. They're out and about in London. They're going to China White's Atlantic Titanic.
He just kept. I feel like he was making them up. I feel like it was like China White's Titanic. Cupboard door, kitchen table. I'm like, you're just looking at things in the room and like listing them. I don't believe these clubs ever existed. Yeah. He was like, we went out like 5 nights a week, and also we're like a touring boy band. But that's what, I guess when you're 19.
Now, you referenced her earlier, but Vicky B really starts to play a part here. She's a pivotal role.
Yeah, she's really kind of the nail in the coffin of their relationship, isn't she? So they were fully like in love and like lived together. And when he went solo, he did a song with Victoria Beckham, and basically she got banned from like attending any promotional events with him because of Victoria, or supposedly because of Victoria. And this is a really good bit where she's talking about Dane working with Victoria, and she just goes, "Oh, and it's Victoria. I was like, I forgot about their rivalry. Didn't she call her a dog? Wasn't there like a thing where one of them called one of them a dog?
Maybe.
It was a real. It was a low point for Vicky B fighting with Katie Price in the tabloids.
And then maybe a low point for Katie Price is that she ends up splitting with Dane Bowers because she wants to do a nude calendar and he doesn't want her to do it. So she does it, and then they break up, and she breaks into his flat and steals the right shoe of every pair of his trainers.
Yeah, I love that. She was like, they're in the boot of my car.
They're probably in that garage.
Yeah, they definitely are. That was it. She's like, I just got them in the boot of my car, just a bunch of right shoes. But then it did take a bit of a dark turn, because then she had a kind of a suicide attempt, which she then, I felt like she was very, I mean, that's the thing about her, she is very candid. And I did think he was asking interesting questions. I felt a bit uncomfortable when he was like, oh, did you think you did that for attention? Was it a real attempt? She's like, no, I did it for attention. But I think it's very honest of her to be able to say that. Like she's great for that. I think in any interview, she's always in any TV show, she's always been very good. But I felt like this one was a bit more. I just felt like he asked good questions and got like really good stuff out of her. And I think she's kind of like so far away from a lot of this stuff now, isn't she? In terms of how long ago it was, I felt like a real proper reflection for her.
I also like so much of the time, documentary makers are quite posh, and he doesn't have like a posh English accent. He's clearly the interviewer's clearly intelligent, knows what he's doing, but he's far more on her level. And I think that's why it works really well. And I got quite the shock. I mean, I'd already had this spoiled for me because I got sent a picture of it, but they actually have Dane Bowers sit down for an interview. Looks great. He looks very Dubai, doesn't he? And he's being really honest, and that's good. Should we get to episode 2 called Jordan versus Katie, which opens with Sarah K. Wood at the top of the Pop Awards 2002 in Manchester, and Sarah K. Wood looks at the camera and says, "Welcome to the spiritual home of Top of the Pops." I'm like, you're in Manchester.
I didn't realize that we'd end up seeing the footage. We saw that footage twice from the top of the Pops Awards from 2002. It made it seem like it was the Brit Awards, which is something that still is happening. But it was like and the event was huge. It was like the
MEN.
The MEN, wasn't it? It was ginormous. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to see Sarah K. Wood. I also feel like Frank Skinner appeared in this documentary more than I was expecting. It's like how Kat Deely really haunted the Kylie documentary. I feel like Frank Skinner's really haunts this one. Well,
Katie then becomes a Playboy bunny, which I never knew happened.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And then she starts a relationship with Dwight York. Any relation of yours?
No, maybe.
Footballer Dwight York.
He has an E at the end, like my name.
I saw,
yeah.
And then Katie falls pregnant. And when she's 4 months pregnant, she goes on the Frank Skinner show.
Yes.
A talk show in the UK.
Yeah, and that was I thought it was kind of it was very strangely quiet, that interview, wasn't it? Like, because there's an audience there, wasn't there? But it was like, it was just like a real, like, a lot of just like room sound and like, but yeah, being very honest, she was just like, oh, I'm really scared. This is really scary, but I'm going to just have a baby and see what happens.
Myself, yeah.
And Frank Skinner's He's like, oh God, I'm really worried. I'm really worried for you.
I was relieved at how he conducted that interview.
Yes, I agree.
Because it was very gentle and honest, and also he was like, yeah, we're kind of worried about you. You doing okay?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Frank, you're good.
I think it's Frank Skinner and Graham Norton are featured in this. And I feel like they're the two. I feel like she must have had some really horribly done interviews over the years. And I feel like those two people were really good picks for the documentary. It was like, remember, again, I keep referencing the Kylie one, but it keeps coming to my mind. Just remember all those awful interviews that they showed of her, of everyone just being like, oh, you know, like gross men like interviewing her.
Yeah. Did you see who Katie Price was on Graham Norton with in one of the clips?
Oh, it was
Eyebrows.
Oh, Billy Zane.
Billy Zane. Didn't you once see Billy Zane at a gas station?
Yeah, near your house.
Yeah.
In Mount Washington. Yeah, I did. I was so excited. I still got that picture on my phone. A really creepy zoomed in picture of Billy Zane putting petrol in his car. Petrol. I'm British now.
Gareth Gates.
Yeah, so the reason we see that footage twice is because Katie comes out and she's presenting the Best Dance Award. And she's also introed by Ronan Keating, which is another perfect part of it. She comes out, she does a little bit of thing, and then she goes, "Can I just say something? Never trust a pop idol." And then the audience starts booing her, and her face when they're booing her, I was cackling. She's literally like, I'm going to do it for you, even though it's an audio format. She was like, very like...
But also a little bit
like,
surprised. Also
yeah, she's like,
oh.
And then she's like, oh, I got you. So basically, we then kind of rewind and find out that, when she was 4 months pregnant, that's one of the strangest parts of the story to me. Her friend that she lived with, what was she called? Sally?
Something like that.
So many amazing women's names in this documentary. She's doing the makeup for the Pop Idol crew.
That's
right. And she got Gareth Gates' phone number, and then they started a texting relationship. And then we just what I really loved is because we then get to see Gareth Gates in the documentary, and also quite a lot of footage of him on Pop Idol. And I forgot how much Pete Waterman and Dr. Fox, how much their mouths were just always wide. They were both just like the whole time, weren't they? Especially because they were trying to be
Simon Cowell.
Well, yeah, they were trying to be Simon Cowell, but I mean, in that moment of the clip of him first auditioning, because he has a stammer, they're kind of waiting for him to get his name out, and both of them just were like, had their mouths like agape. Lovely Nikki Chapman. Speaking of Nikki Chapman, she was she was there. And yeah, and it was like fun seeing a lot of Pop Idol footage.
I also don't remember the two of them being a thing. Like I
do. I remember this. Yeah.
I somehow forgot all this, but actually, it happened, and and the interview, Gareth, who talks about it, they have a relationship. He loses his virginity to Katie, and then there was a camera hidden in a hotel corridor that catches...
in a tissue box.
Yeah, that catches Katie going to see him, and then he's told that actually it could have been her that planted the camera. Yeah. And then it's revealed in this new interview, no, we spoke to the photographer, it was someone else. So essentially they basically not fall out, but the relationship crumbles because he thinks potentially she's tried to set him up. Yeah. And also his team are like, you can't be dating her, you need to be single, you're a pop idol.
Well, and it was a little strange because he was 17 as well, and she was like in her early 20s. Yeah. But 17 is kind of a scary age to be dating someone.
And she's pregnant.
And she's pregnant. Yeah, just like what a wild thing to commit to someone who's pregnant. It's kind of it's a interesting way to meet someone, I think. Yeah. But I thought also his interview was really sweet as well. It was like I think he held back a couple of things, but like he was very just complimentary about how much they liked each other and how like nice it was.
And then because she's upset about the breakup, she sells a story about taking his virginity, which she actively regrets.
Yeah, she basically said that's the only thing she'd change, didn't she? She said she feels really bad about it.
So then, meanwhile, she has Harvey, and then she goes on "I'm a Celebrity." Fucking hell.
She sure does.
Fucking, I'm a Celebrity, a show where celebrities go on and essentially they're punished by the public because they have to do these awful tasks, and then sometimes they come out on top. Oh my god!
Yeah, and
so,
it's always like the least liked celebrity gets voted to do all these horrible things. So that she basically had to do like a million like challenges of like bugs being all thrown on her head, and what was that thing? She was carrying a snake on a log at one point. I was like, what is this?
I also just love how they're called. I never watched I'm a Celeb for some
Bush
reason.
Tucker Trials.
Bush Tucker Trials, and the producer is there saying, "Oh yeah, Bush Tucker Trials, they're a punishment." So the public are voting for a celebrity to be punished, and Katie certainly was.
Anyway,
So in the jungle, Katie meets Peter Andre, Australian pop star, singer of Mysterious Girl.
there's a few because she was in there the same time as Kerry Katona, but there was a bit where. Do you remember Alex Best? She was formerly married to George Best, the footballer. She was a model. She was in the jungle at the same time as them, because there was a really good scene where that bit where they come out of the jungle, they're being interviewed, and I was like, who's that woman just lurking, like really hogging the camera space? I was like, oh, it's Alex Best. She was a real thing for a while.
Completely forgot about
She was
her.
she was the definition of like, she seems like a lovely woman, but like, why was she
yeah.
famous? It was very like she had nothing going on
She
like
didn't
that.
do Wag's Boutique, did she?
No, I don't know if she. I'm just remembering our amazing coverage of Wag's Boutique.
Did we do an episode?
We
on
covered
it?
an episode of it, yeah,
Of course we
definitely.
did.
I think we watched the whole thing, actually.
So episode 3, Jordan's dead. It's called Jordan's Dead.
Yeah.
So Katie Price really comes out on top because she wins the jungle. She meets Peter Andre. Now, question for you: who is the U.S. equivalent of Peter Andre? I don't have an
Ooh.
answer. This isn't right
It's a
because he's
thinker.
UK, but it's like Rick Astley. It's like
Yeah.
it's that kind of vibe.
Yes, yeah.
Who sang Boys of Summer?
Don Henley.
Yeah, who's that?
I think he's quite famous.
Oh, is he? Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, US. At this point, Kerry Katona, she was also in the jungle with them, and Kerry is a phenomenal interview. She's being interviewed throughout this documentary. She said, "Oh yeah, I won the jungle that year. I won I'm a Celebrity, but no one remembers that. Everyone remembers Katie and Pete."
She's great. She's really good at giving a soundbite, isn't she?
Oh, so good.
And yeah, I really liked the bit about, because obviously all of Katie's family said they're watching the show and they're like, oh God, she's fallen in love again. Oh, here we go. And I liked when they talked about how it was like 2 weeks later and Peter Andre was just at their house. And was it her sister said, she went, yeah, I came home from school that day and I walked in and he was just like, all right. And she's like, oh, hiya. And then her brother was like, yeah. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, Peter Andre's doing the Thriller dance in our living room.
So at this point, I did make a note that the Kaiser Chiefs appears to be playing at some point, some music from the Kaiser Chiefs. And I did not know this, but Katie and Peter in the press, they're a huge deal. But I didn't realize they were referred to as Dosh and Pex.
I don't think that stuck.
So
I had no recollection of that. They tried to really feature that, didn't they?
So that's a play on Posh and Bex, Victoria and David Beckham. But Dosh and Pex, but the idea they were also trying to set up in the documentary here is when Peter goes into the jungle, as they said, he was living in a flat in Cyprus with his brothers running a gym. So basically, he had no money, nothing was going on, whereas Katie had everything going on.
Yeah.
So they definitely play that up, shall we say.
Yes. And I mean, is it time to get to their wedding? Well, actually, I would say there's also some. I really enjoyed the woman, the former editor of OK Magazine,
The showbiz journalist Clemmy Moody.
No. I liked. She used to write for Heat. Clemmy Moody.
Moody.
It was
What a name!
Clemmy Moody is amazing. Dean Piper. Do you remember him? He used to be called Mr. Showbiz in The Sun.
Yeah.
That was his showbiz column. And then I really loved the woman that was the former editor of OK Magazine, because she just was. I don't know. She was also just great because they really hit on, like, that was a formula at that specific time in the world. OK Magazine was the low rent Hello Magazine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like Hello Magazine always had the royal family in it, and then OK Magazine was whatever big celebrity. It was always relationship focused, wasn't it? Weirdly, OK Magazine. It was always like, we sit down for the first time and talk about our relationship and do like a photo shoot.
Well, also if you think of it like the peak of Hello Magazine is royal family. The peak of OK Magazine is Victoria and David Beckham.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the people's royal family.
Yes.
That kind of vibe.
And that woman, I really like. She said that she was like, she got really excited. And she's like, oh my God, first relationship. We're gonna do first baby. We're gonna do wedding. We're gonna do, like. She was like, I'm gonna make so much money, because she said that she says anytime that they were featured in the magazine, their sales went like like were skyrocketing basically. So they were just making so much money
Now,
and getting
speaking
paid
of-
a lot of money for those shoots as well.
Speaking of business and making money, we have to talk about Claire Powell.
Don't say
Claire-
her name. She might appear behind me and tell me to sign an NDA.
Someone makes a really good point that everyone remembers the sort of the male media moguls, the Simon Fullers, the Simon Cowells, but actually someone like a Claire Powell who ran
Can Associates.
Can Associates, it's like a management company. I
Yeah.
remember her so clearly from this period.
Yeah.
But she represented Peter, so she ended up taking on Katie. And Katie made a good point. She's like, look, if I'm going to be doing all this kind of business and work with my husband, it's probably easier if we just have the same agent.
Yeah.
And then they'll be looking after both of us.
She's a terrifying figure.
She is.
She's so scary.
So
and it was really,
scary.
I felt like it was really proven in that very short clip of when that car wouldn't fit inside the marquee at the wedding.
Oh my God, I made that exact comment. I've written Claire in the wedding day, a tent for the car and carriage. And at one point, so basically, because they sell the wedding to OK Magazine, but no one can see anything, so they meant to have this tent that Katie could go into in the car, then appear in a carriage, and
Yeah.
it doesn't quite fit, and Claire's making a big fuss, and at one point Claire just says, "It's an absolute joke." I'm just like, oh God.
The thought of just being like shouted at by her on like a wedding day. So the wedding, I thought this was really interesting because hearing from her family was really interesting about this because they basically all said the same thing, which was like they didn't know anyone at the wedding. They like her mum was like, we didn't even know. Like they weren't even sitting in like the front row of the wedding because it was reserved for like press and celebrities, and that the whole thing was this kind of strange, like almost like a wedding themed like photo shoot basically, wasn't it?
And let's talk about the
and they were filming it,
bridesmaids
and they were filming it for the documentary at the time, weren't they?
for ITV2 or
the next
whatever.
chapter, yeah.
Bridesmaids, Michelle Heaton and Sarah Harding.
Not since and Kerry Katona, right?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, not since Martine McCutcheon was a bridesmaid with Michael Jackson has there been a a stranger combo of people. But I think that Michelle Heaton and Katie Price are still good friends.
Oh, they are. I mean, you'll miss
Yeah.
it in the next episode, but we do reference Michelle Heaton's 30th birthday, but we'll get to that.
Oh, okay, good.
And also Michelle Heaton being interviewed here, she came across great, I thought.
Oh, see, I didn't get to that.
You missed that. Okay.
I missed that one.
So
yeah.
Michelle Heaton, Sarah Harding, and Kerry Katona bridesmaids. One of the guests that I noted, Gaza.
Gaza gets interviewed. He gives a really vague answer about why he's at the wedding, doesn't he? He's like, "Oh, I've known Katie from years ago. I'm really happy for her."
Yeah.
Like, Gaza, come on.
And at the reception, it appears that they've got Christmas trees decorating the reception. Did you notice that?
Yeah, and I like her stepdad was like, I was doing a speech, and then he's like, I looked around, and he's like, who are all these people? and he was like, none of them are going to understand what I'm talking about. He's like, I'm talking about her childhood, and no one knows what I'm referencing because they don't know. I've never met them before. And I like, they cut to his dad, they cut to his stepdad. Her stepdad was so tickled by that horse and carriage that they arrived in.
Yeah.
They in the interview he was laughing his head off, remembering it, and then they cut to the footage of him from the documentary from the ITV2 show, and he's in the carriage laughing his head off. He had the time of his life in that horse-drawn carriage. But then it's oh my God! I also think that she looked incredible on that wedding day because she's wearing this pink sequined like kind of ball gown, and her hair's huge, and she's wearing this giant like pink tiara. But she looks bananas, but it's kind of cool, right? Like it's still like she does look like a kind of tacky Barbie doll in a way that's really fun. He looked so ghastly. He had so much makeup on. He looked kind of like a vampire, didn't he? It was very vampiric.
Kind of melting, and he had hair extensions in. It was
so much eyeliner.
It was pretty weird.
Yeah, and he just and he was like really stuffed into this very strange, sparkly suit, and yeah, it just was. I feel like her look weirdly stands the test of time because of who she is and how many bananas looks she's done. It just feels like another fun thing in her like lookbook. Whereas for him, he looked so. And yeah,
he also
real weird.
just looked really hot.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
they get married. They have Junior, their first son, and Katie has postnatal depression.
yeah. Well, we find out, don't we, that because she'd had Junior
Was it
3
before
months
the
before the
wedding?
wedding.
Oh, God,
so
that's
on the
right.
wedding day, she was like completely not. She said she
Yeah.
just wasn't there at all. And all her family say that. They're like, she didn't really look very present in any of the pictures. Although I did like, do you remember that bit where they were talking about how it was just a photo shoot? They've got really good footage of Katie Peter standing next to the cake. And then she just goes, all right, we done? Can we go?
Although,
like,
that's like being at any wedding.
yeah, literally. She was
Like-
just like, I'm so sick of this.
Yeah, any wedding, it's like my friends have just got so bored with the photographer that I just want to go hang
Yeah.
out with my friends and have drinks now. So at this period, Pete is having less success than Katie. Katie's more
Yeah.
in demand. And then at this point as well, it's all quite cookie cutter and quite clean and sanitized, whereas Katie's missing being Jordan. She misses
Yeah.
doing the sexy stuff, and Peter clearly doesn't like the Jordan character.
Yeah.
And he's quite... oof.
Yeah.
Basically, Katie's being quite controlled by Pete,
Yeah.
and then also
Pete.
Claire,
Yeah.
the manager, because Claire's like, oh no, well what's selling is all this fun, happy, clean stuff. And Pete's like, I don't want my wife to be dressing like that and looking like that. So, yo.
It's also worth noting that when there's some very important footage in this episode, which is T4 on the beach. Peter Andre performs Mysterious Girl at T4 on the beach, but is introduced by what I can only just describe as June Sapong reclining so far back in a deck chair that she's almost laying down, like horizontal.
Yeah.
And like delivering a piece to camera, but like she's basically just laying down. It's as if she's in bed. She was so relaxed, wasn't she?
One of those deck chairs that there's no way to sit in it unless
No,
you
no.
completely succumb to the deck
Yeah,
chair.
it's like the fabric bit where she'd just been lost into the fabric of that deck chair. She was just, she basically, her like legs were up in the air and she was like, oh, well, he's forbidden the jungle. It's Peter Andre.
And then cut to Katie in the audience like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
So this is where I ran out of time. So
Okay.
I don't know. You tell me what happened in the next
pick it up.
episode.
They split in 2009. It's ultimately implied that Peter used Katie for his career and then
Yeah.
got jealous of hers. That's kind of implied. There is a phenomenal... So when they split up, the public turned on Katie and she's like, oh, they very much... It's like Pete's a good man versus Katie who's a bad woman. It's like a saint and sinner type thing.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. They split up and and then she breaks away from the management company, Katie does. And Claire, the management company, set up a photo shoot where Pete takes the kids strawberry picking, like the most wholesome dad thing. Cut to Kerry Katona in an interview being like, oh yeah, I've done the exact same thing. When I went through my breakup, I was told to go strawberry picking with my kids, and I did to make me look like a good mum. Great. And I've just written here, Claire is truly a phenomenal manager.
Yeah, she is. Do you ever have any dealings with Claire in your career? I think I did for one of those Alan Carr shows that we worked on. Do you remember I did that shoot with Katie Price in her garden?
Oh, that's
I
right.
think I had to deal with her for that, and she was quite scary. The management woman, Katie Price, was one of the loveliest people I've ever met. She like literally welcomed us into her home. This
bet.
bunch of TV crew of people. She's so used to it, but like when she was with that Argentinian guy. Do you remember him?
Oh, she doesn't even get a look in this.
No.
Well, speaking of, it's funny you said it because there's a point where Katie continues to do a reality show, but by herself. And you see all this extra footage where it's like the end of a shoot day and she's like, do you want to stay for a curry? Because otherwise it's just me sitting here by myself and I'm a bit bored. She's like, do you want to go for a drink? And like to all the crew, it's
Yeah.
like, it's really sad, but also really lovely.
Yeah, she that's the thing. She is so sweet. Also, I will just before you tell about this episode, there was an incredible montage of. It was talking about how like she became like a real commodity and she was like selling as much stuff. And it was a montage. Remember that for a while she would do those stunt book launches where whatever the theme of the book is, she would come dressed in the different style. And they did a montage of that, and it was just like her like holding up that kid's book dressed as like a mermaid, and then her in like angel wings, and it just was incredible.
Her dress is like a magic lamp. Her
Yeah,
dress is like a car. Like
at one point
whatever
she's on a horse that like rears up. And I was like, okay. Because never forget, she's very horsey.
So this
She loves
episode
horses.
ends with Katie being like, fuck it, and breaking up from Peter. So she goes to Ibiza, and she's just on the beach writhing around in a gold bikini with a crowd circling her, taking photographs. That's how the episode ends. Episode 4, you have not seen it. It's called The Black Sheep.
Yeah.
It's the final episode. We start at Michelle Heaton's 30th birthday party at the Mayfair Hotel.
Oh.
And then they go into Studio Valbonne. Do you remember those locations?
Yeah, I do.
So at
I
that,
do.
at
Yes,
that
I do.
party, Katie Price meets Alex Reid.
Oh God.
Do you remember him?
Oh God. Is he? He's not in the documentary, is he?
Sure is. Being
Roxanne.
interviewed. So Alex Reid was kind of like this muscular, tanned cage fighter.
Yeah,
was
he was an MMA fighter. Yeah.
And Katie says, "Oh yeah, I saw Alex. I just thought, whoa,
Yeah.
love that." Then I've written here, and this isn't shade or sexism, but I have remarked that Katie has strong chemistry with lots of, like, there's been Dane, Gareth, Pete,
Yeah.
Alex, like really strong chemistry.
Yeah.
It's quite remarkable.
Yeah.
So she gets with Alex. Unfortunately, Katie and Alex as a couple, they're not aspirational to OK readers. So our OK editor's like, yeah, we didn't really want to do stuff with them. I'm just like, all right. We then have a sequence where apparently we find out that Alex is looking at rings in Dubai. Katie goes back into the jungle. And then Katie comes out of the jungle, and in her exit interview, they're asking about Alex because you made a reference earlier to Roxanne. Essentially, Alex, he is a sexual being, and he has lots of different likes, and one of them is dressing sometimes in women's clothes. That gets into the papers. It's a whole thing. Katie doesn't care about that, obviously, because she's Katie Price. She's got nothing to hide. But she goes into the jungle. So I'm a celeb. In her exit interview, they're asking her about Alex. And she's like, yeah, I don't want to date him anymore. So she basically breaks up with him live on air. Meanwhile, the producers had flown him in.
Oh my God.
So you see the look on Anton Deck's face like, oh, so you're breaking up with him. And clearly, like, Alex is waiting in the wings to, like, come on the show and surprise her. It's phenomenal.
Oh my God.
So in the end, she's essentially, it's like, fine, okay, I'll get back with you, Alex. They get married. She describes the wedding as cheap carnage. Turns out Alex's mates are doing the security at the wedding.
I don't remember them getting married. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's a whole
I've completely
thing.
forgotten that.
So we get a lot of, like, there's that. They break up. She's been with that guy, Kieran, who's not interviewed. He seems like a real dark, manipulative guy.
Yeah.
Some real dark times. And then this is where we actually get interviews with her kids, with Peter Andre, Princess, and Junior. And they're essentially talking about their experience of when her mum was going through really dark times and had to go to the Priory, and she gets her ADHD diagnosis, and yeah, it's a lot. But this episode also opens with her saying, like, yeah, I could fall in love with him. I would get married again. And then you see all this news reports about her getting with that guy that she's apparently currently with.
Yeah, it's so dark, isn't it? He's like, basically, isn't he like a scammer who lives in Dubai, isn't he?
Yeah, but the whole thing that we learn throughout all this, Katie's looking for a man to love her and to kind of look after her. And that's what this scammer in Dubai is essentially saying to her and is trying to do for her.
I just tried to Google to see what that new husband looks like, and the top thing is a Sun exclusive interview where it says, Katie Price reveals dreams do come true as she shows off her new horse.
There's a lot of horse chat throughout this whole thing.
It's just
She
a picture of her with
loves
a horse. Honestly, she looks so happy in this picture holding this horse. Like, I think that's really what she ultimately should be doing with her time now. I think she should just run like a horse sanctuary. She'd be so happy.
It's funny you say that, because the final shot of the documentary are these stunning shots of her riding a horse.
Yeah.
That's kind of the end of it. But it's really interesting. So to go back one sec, Princess and Harper... to go back one sec, Princess and Junior talking about it. But then I've made a note here. Imagine if Princess and Harper 7 became friends.
Oh my God. Yeah, they could... I bet they'll have like a podcast together.
Yeah. There's also this great sequence where all her family are saying, oh, when we found out with the ADHD diagnosis, oh, this makes more sense. You know, this feels good. And there's all this sweeping orchestral music, like really rousing, as if like this is unlocking one of her problems. And then the interviewer says to her, you know, did finding out you have ADHD, did that sort of help you understand your life and make everything better? And it's all this sweeping music, and Katie's like, no. I knew I was crazy all along. But it's helpful for everyone else because now they know there's a medical term for it. And the music just kind of cuts.
Oh,
it's
that's really
fun.
good. Oh, I love her.
And then essentially what's really interesting about the end of this documentary is, so it gets into her, she's basically run out of money, but her brother and sister, throughout the years, they tried to manage her, but now they are managing her. But her sister's really smart. She says, here's the thing with Katie. She likes to stand on her own 2 feet, so I'm not managing her. We're not managing her, but we're sort of working with her.
Yeah.
So they're really smart the way they kind of... And I'm
Yeah.
like, I trust the brother and sister,
Yeah.
you know, being part of the business. But what's interesting, I think, compared to all these other documentaries that really tie up everything with a bow and end on like a lovely note, yeah, this ends with Katie riding on a gorgeous horse, but you also know that she is utterly bananas, and she knows that, and we love her for that.
Yeah.
But she's now in this insane relationship with this potential scammer in Dubai. So yes, she's got to a good place, but also she is who she is, so she's gonna keep
it's
on
gonna
doing the
keep
same things.
Yeah, exactly. It's
So
not
it
about
ends-
like, hey, I'm looking back on all the mistakes I've made, and obviously I'll never make them again. Yeah, she's kind of just doing the same thing again, which is kind of funny.
Totally. So it ends on this really wonderful, ambiguous note, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Is there anything more grim than the idea of someone scamming you from Dubai? It's just so depressing.
I know. I think throughout all of this, as ever, Katie Price, she's so wonderfully flawed and honest, and I think it's impossible to dislike her because she's just so herself and so out there. There's a slight element of Dolly Parton to her as well with
Yeah.
her appearance and her looks.
Yep.
That kind of side of things.
There's
What do you
an
think?
incredible shot of her at one point in the documentary. She's talking about how everyone thinks she's a villain, and they used a clip of her in her interview doing smoke rings with her vape. She's like let her head back, and she's doing these like smoke rings. And it's her own voiceover being like, "There I was the villain again." I just thought it was really funny.
She clearly, I mean, we don't even talk about it because it's not that interesting to us, but she's had, you know, her breast enlargement surgery a million times. She had a lot of facial surgery, and it's all kind of like clearly stemming from she wants to be loved, she wants to be liked, and she's
Yeah.
incredibly insecure, doesn't like what she sees.
Shout out to her plastic surgeon who features in the documentary and has a great time slapping those, showing how hard those breast implants were by slamming them onto the table.
Oh, yeah.
He was loving it, wasn't he?
Because they're
I feel
like,
him and that interviewer were quite giddy in doing that interview, weren't they? The two of them were
because
really
they're
like
what size of enlarged? It's, oh yeah, she got 36Ds. He pulls like a pair out of a drawer and just slaps them on the desk, doesn't he?
Yeah, I felt like the two of them were like real two giddy boys talking about boobs in that scene.
I think we've talked about her before, but
Yeah,
who's the US equivalent of?
I think we said
Katie
Carmen
Price.
Electra for her last time.
Oh,
Yeah, but like I feel like Carmen Electra's a quieter figure in the current day, isn't she, compared to KP?
KP is also legendary, and
Yeah.
she is. I think what was really cool about this documentary series is she's touched upon so many key parts of
Yeah.
pop culture.
Yeah.
It's like from Pop Idol to Victoria Beckham to OK Magazine to
Yeah.
tabloids to it's like quite remarkable.
Yeah, like page three.
Page
yeah,
three, Playboy?
Yeah, you're right. She's had more of an impact than like Carmen Electra did on. But then just like culturally, I think Carmen Electra did have such a moment, didn't she, where she was the it girl and the sexy glamour kind of girl everywhere.
I know it's crazy, but Carmen Electra with a tiny sprinkle of Dolly Parton.
Yeah, no, I completely get that. I see it. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Well, thank you as ever for listening. We'll do more episodes soon, whenever it happens. But you know where to find us. Give us a shout on Instagram. Email us at,
You're welcome, AmericaPodcast@gmail.com.
and we will see you soon. You're welcome.
Bye.
You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
Igo by Toyota sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
Marley,
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.